Welcome to Tavern Talk, brought to you by The Way They Leaf. We are a full spoiler talk show based on the epic fantasy series Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan. Joining me as always is my dancing brother.
Damn straight.
And Jansen Lashley Haynes and Beth Doman. We're going to be giving our reviews and discuss episode 2 of season 3, Wheel of Time's adaptation by Amazon. Everyone, thank you for joining us. We want to hear your opinions in chat. And we're gonna just give our overview and give our review, give our scores, and then let's just dive into the episode, guys. What score do you give this episode?
I give this episode an 8.
Okay.
I give this episode an 8.75.
8.75. We're going into the 100th of a point.
I have to save room. I have to. There has to be a bar.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
This episode is called A Question of Crimson.
Crimson.
And it starts off, the cold open is the coronation of Morghese.
Yes, we got all GOT on that.
I was not prepared. I had to pause it and sit there like this for about 3 minutes. I was like,
I was watching with my wife, who is not a book reader, and I promised not to make comments. So I stood with my hands on my head in front of the TV, just like, what is going on?
I was not prepared, literally, but it was brilliant. It was so good. It was
well, it was way more realistic to how her situation in life would really be. You got to be a hard ass to be a woman to run indoor.
Jansen, you're a little quiet. Can you get closer, please?
Oh yeah. So I think it was more realistic to how it's supposed to be. You got to be a hard ass to be a woman and run Andor to be the queen. You gotta run shit.
Dana Lou asked a good question. You guys didn't give your ratings.
Oh yeah, I gave this episode an 8.5.
I think I was a solid 8.2.
And for me, this moment dropped it down for me. I was underwhelmed.
Really?
I was underwhelmed by the Sun Throne. I thought it reminded me of Vegas.
The Lion Throne?
The Lion Throne, my bad. I was unimpressed with the room. I didn't like I didn't like any of it.
I will say,
interesting.
Someone here said there was they went a full Game of Thrones there a little bit, and to a certain degree, we have to acknowledge that the books had it done first, right? The Andor is red. They have the lions. They have the blonde queen. But gosh, in retrospect, it looked just like Cersei doing something with the Lannisters or something along these lines, that I wish that there was some sort of hard delineation from that.
Well, I looked at this scene a lot. There were some things that they did that I'm not sure people caught that I did. They showed a lot of things that are going to happen later in Andor in that one scene.
Yep.
And it was very cool what they did. If you notice, some of the people in the houses, only one was killed. In other instances, 2 were killed. Mm-hmm. And they even showed one shots of some of the people who didn't get killed looking at the queen.
Their families members killed them.
Yeah,
their own
brother
family members. Yeah, the female heads of houses that fought against her. That was what she did. She cut the snakes' heads off. It's brutal. But it gets the point across, because I think the show wants us to understand how this is the thing, knowing who Gabriel is.
Mm-hmm.
We need to see how ruthless a ruler is, and like you guys said earlier about it being a woman, it's a matriarchal society, and they've got to show that women can, be relentless and ruthless and just as cold-hearted to get the job done as a man.
Am I wrong though with this political climate to not
Exactly,
see some sort of make Andor great again with our talk of political retribution, and there is no coming together on things? They were just straight out killed because they didn't agree with who was going to be ruler, and that is, gosh, I mean,
Well, no, they were also killed, like Beth said, so Elaine didn't have to see another secession. So Elaine didn't have any rivals. She basically made it so Elaine didn't have any rivals.
Yeah.
women.
And I loved how
Right,
the one thing I appreciate is it really sets up the dynamics between Morgase and Elaine. Later scenes
And
where
Elida. Don't forget Elida. Elida was there, y'all.
Elida helped her
Elida
do
was
all
part
that,
of that.
and
Yes.
yeah, she was
Yeah.
orchestrated it.
so
Yes.
is Elida black?
No, she is not.
I don't
They are
think
not going to make Elida black in this show. No.
I think Elida has
Elida
some
is
problems.
power hungry and prideful. And that is going to ultimately be what leads to her downfall. And I just have to say, I have loved Shohreh Aghdashloo for over a decade. She is a voice actor in several of my favorite video game franchises. She was Christiane Avasarala on The Expanse. She was one of the voice actors in season 1 of Arcane. I hate Book Elida, but I am going to love to hate Show Elida because oh my God, she's brilliant.
I think Elida is going to be black. I think she is the one who brought in Lord Gabriel. This is my prediction.
No.
What?
They said that in no. Why would she have done that in season 3? The open of of episode 3. No, she had nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it. No.
That's my prediction. That's fine. You know what? I was vulnerable there, and I can see why you don't pet alligators because they bite your fingers. I shouldn't have done that.
She is just very politically savvy and very, very power hungry.
And they've definitely showed how her and Swan do not like each other.
She smiled when the
said
killings happened. She kind of gave a little smile.
And no, I still think that we met a lot of Red Aja in this. Now, I am not the biggest fan of Saitama right now. Or Galena, and that might be because they haven't really done a lot with their characters yet. So, in the books, Saitama was very close to Tharava with me with being a terrifying figure. Saitama seemed to me someone who had been through the ringer, been through jail, like the worst jail ever, made it out, and was still the highest. So that I'm not getting that same character, but hey, we'll see what happens later in the books.
She's badass though. I don't care.
She's badass.
She put Elida in her place. She was like, there's the door.
Well,
that so much.
They took that text, her lines, that's too gaudy for me.
Yeah.
They took that right out of the books, but they took that out of, I believe, Knife of Dreams? No. Crossroads of Twilight, when Matt tried to give Tuon the same type of gift.
Funny. Yep. And
said,
Rand
no,
also
it's
thinks the
gaudy
same thing
too,
about
Rand.
Avienda's sword. And he's like, this thing is gaudy as hell. I'll keep the blade. You keep that weird hilt.
But,
Nynaeve and Elaine are tasked to be the hounds to track down the Black Sisters in this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is similar to the books.
Very similar.
Although with this, they don't necessarily. Nynaeve just leaves, and Elaine was gonna leave the next morning. So this plan seems a little less put together because novices can split.
Well, no.
Or accepted, rather.
Accepted can split.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I mean, well, this is the thing. Elaine's not a novice yet. I mean, she's not an accepted yet. Her mother is taking her home. And this is one of the things that I love about this episode is because they are taking things that are just alluded to or referenced from the books, and they are using those to drive the plot forward here. So in the books, when at the beginning of the Great Hunt, or at the beginning of the Dragon Reborn, when they get back to Tar Valon, Siuan tells them that Morgase showed up and had this show, was like, "Where's my daughter?" And she sent her back to Andor.
And by the way, the best writing freaking collar in the world. That Queen of Hearts. Oh my.
Oh yeah, and that's the other thing that I really hi Liz, how are you, friend? One of my gaming friends is here in chat.
Yo.
Anyway, one of the things that I loved. Remember what I said last episode about how Egwene walked all over Siuan. The Amerlin seat was in residence when Morgase showed up. The power play and the power dynamic between the two of them was so excellent. And everything about Andor, the way that they represented Andor, I've always pictured Andor being like Middle Ages Elizabethan England, and they just brought it. Everything from the standards to the colors to the coat of arms to everything screamed Andor
that cool
to me.
Lion across the chest. That
I just loved it. I just loved everything about it.
Like GOT, it had to be.
I mean, because it was already established in the books, and they're trying to be.
We all had this in our mind.
Yeah, exactly.
How is Lord Gabriel? So Leanne stutters over his name, and the Amerlin.
So masterful. She's like Gabriel. But anyway, like a hiccup, but a girly one.
Is she just walking in and just blasting everyone with compulsion as he walks in? Just
again, they don't really care about the metaphysics in the show. No. They're not going to go in a stickling about the metaphysics in the show.
Yeah, I think that later we may see him using it in a different scene,
possibly.
But yeah, how she stumbled because she didn't know who he was. And then later on, he explains this. He does.
Yep,
he explains this to the other Forsaken.
But that's episode 3. We're not talking about that.
Oh, yep. You're right. So,
because at first I was really confused because I was like he's been her consort. I was like, are they merging? Are they getting rid of Gabriel and they're merging him with Gareth Bryn? And then when he's talking with Elaine, no, your mother has sent Gareth Bryn away.
Yeah, they mentioned Gareth Bryn.
They mentioned Gareth, so
you know what else they did in this episode? Someone else that was mentioned in this episode who we didn't see was, and there was a lot of speculation of whether or not he was going to be in this or not, was Mazrim Taine. He was mentioned. And by Joya Bear, who also was the same one who mentioned him in the books.
We love Mazrim Taine reference there. So, I'm not going to lie.
There's a lot of speculation that he may be one of the other Forsaken. But we also saw we've met some other people who also may be one of the other Forsaken as well. Lord Luke is also in the Two Rivers.
Right.
We're getting ahead of ourselves now.
Oh, you're right. Dang.
But they do arrive through the Waygate. The Waygate seems not a big deal. I mean, sure, there's a bunch of lightning and stuff, but they just hop on out like, hey,
and Loyal explains something when he does.
Yep.
He puts the leaf back on.
Yeah,
and he says,
Vendosora leaf.
and he says, way better way to go instead of that damn one power.
Yep.
So he explains that right there, that it can be used a different way.
Yeah, and then he put the Heide key in the rock garden.
I was so happy, and it is very different visually. It creates a door as opposed to
blasting your way through.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That was really cool. Yeah, continue, Dan.
So they get I'll call it the bubble of evil that attacked Perrin was where Loyal developed he has G. What's a Chad? I think
Chad was I have toe to you. Yeah.
Yeah. You saved my life, Builder. So they're just following him, and Bane is like, well, I go wherever she goes. So
that was awesome.
I'm actually not sad that we don't have Gaul. I know a lot of people love Gaul and Perrin's friendship that builds, but I don't think he's necessary. And using Loyal as a focal point is good for me. Oh my god, we did not talk about in episode 1. I just have to mention it. We did not talk about freaking Maiden's Kiss.
I was just about to mention Maiden's Kiss. Yeah.
Anyway, we got Maiden's Kiss. I thought that was great, but we're not talking about one.
That's kind of how I pictured it.
Yeah, and I do like what they've done with the introduction of Alana and Maxim in the Two Rivers, which is still kind of mysterious. Like,
why are they there? Yeah.
Why are you here?
This is easy. I think this is very easy.
Well, do tell.
Alana's a dark friend.
Dun, dun, dun. We learn. Is it this episode that we learn about the hearts?
No other sense now. There's no other reason. She's a dark friend.
Unless she was sent there by Swan, and she just hasn't divulged that yet because they know Perrin's going back to the Two Rivers.
Possible. That's definitely possible.
Just saying.
Yeah.
I really liked Alana's grief.
Same.
Ceremony. She gets ashes and water, and she puts on her face. It resembles almost tears. And it's not removed until it gets absorbed into you and becomes a true part of you, your grief. Yeah. I like that.
I like that too. I like that. I do.
Yeah, Luz Jr. says that Alana's just big into honey cakes.
I mean, I would be Alana's honey cake. I would. I mean.
She is awesome.
She's amazing.
By the way, casting-wise, my wife made this good point. Marin looks just like Egwene. It could be her mom. The brothers do kind of look alike. Elaine and Morghese look alike. The casting really does have family resemblances.
They really do. They've done a great job. They've always done a really good job with casting.
Now that we are talking about the introduction of the Trakan family, Gawad and Galad, we have some very big differences, I believe, from the books. Especially in Galad.
I think Galad is perfect.
See, I don't. I don't think he's the book Galad at all.
He's not nearly as handsome.
I've mentioned this before. I've talked to this, but one of the things straight from the books, and this was Galad talking to Gawain, is that I do have a sense of humor. The only reason you think I don't is because I don't like to mock people.
I think that they're doing that, though, because they have to make him somewhat approachable. You can't they've got to show. I think the casting of Galad is perfect.
No, I think the casting is great, but I'm talking about the character himself.
I think to assume that we're going to have any actual 100% representation from book to page at this point of any character isn't likely.
I think you're right, but the reason I'm getting to that is what I'm saying is I cannot see TV Egwene in any way getting with TV Gawain.
with Gowan.
No.
I mean,
Not at all.
that's entire. I mean, how are they gonna? How are they gonna meet? Who knows? I mean,
I'm
I
just
would not
saying,
disagree
I
with you. I
can't
mean,
see
it's
it at
clear
all.
we're not going to get Maureen and Tom. We're not going to get Swan and Gareth. I mean, I think that's pretty fair to say at this point.
I don't. I think we're gonna get Moraine and Tom.
We'll see.
Yeah.
What about Min?
I love her. Oh my God, I love her. I love it. I love the relationship between her and Matt. It is everything to me. This was my favorite part besides Shoray.
Her wardrobe can go jump off a pier as far
I
as
love
I'm
it.
concerned.
I love
Oh,
it. They have her in
gross.
hiding. She is a servant in the White Tower. That's what the women servants wear.
She's the ultimate double agent of the entire series. Shit.
I love her so much.
Wait, there's other people walking around with the pantsuit on?
I've never seen
Yes,
it.
all of the women
Yeah, there were a
servants.
bunch.
The
Yeah,
women
there were.
servants, that's what they wear. That's
They
their
got
uniform.
but the outfit itself I don't like. It has a tuxedo lapel. It has tails. What are we doing here?
The White Tower.
Okay. They're the White Tower. They're ostentatious.
You can do anything, and you made them like kind of tiny butlers. Barf.
Well, yes. Why wouldn't they do that?
They look like they dress like Kim Kardashian's mom.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
That's a
Wow.
With the slick hair back and everything.
But let's not talk about the outfit. Let's talk about the
content.
relationship between Matt and Min. That is so great. I love it. They need to give Min a purpose because she is like just kind of flitting around right now.
Well,
Because she's not sycophanting over Rand. She's not desperate to get back to Rand at this point. So making her Matt's best friend is perfect.
Will there be more?
No, never. It's very much, and actually, I don't remember who when I recorded my podcast episodes yesterday, who mentioned this, that it's very reminiscent of the friendship that Matt develops with Brigitte. It's very much, you're my bro. Like you're a girl, but you're not a girl. Like I'm never going to look at you that way.
Are Min and Rand going to be a thing?
I don't know.
I'm saying no.
Scotty said that. That's what I thought. I don't know.
I think that Rand is going to have a relationship with all three in different worlds.
Interesting.
Then just bullshit Easter egg stuff, to be honest. Then I don't like it.
I wonder if politically it's more important to change that and modernize it than almost any other aspect of this series.
I almost have to, but you almost have to wonder though. It's going to depend on if Min gets adopted into Shanshan society, because at the end, Rand had a consort that was affiliated with every major culture. Like, so Andor Elaine was like the Westlands, Avienda was the Aiel, and Min reluctantly became part of Shanshan nobility, right? So he had a consort with somebody with political weight and clout with each one of those different alliances.
Ooh, I like that.
So I think we're gonna have to see. Yeah, she did. She said, "I see three beautiful women." But one of those beautiful
I don't
women
think it's
in
her,
the
though.
show could be Egwene. It could be Egwene.
It could be
Lanfear.
Lanfear.
It could be Lanfear. Yeah, it could. I mean, so it's going to be more Polly than Big. Well, we've already established it's going to be Polly because of what they did with
Avienda and Elaine. Yeah.
Avienda and Elaine, which I actually do. I loved that. I loved seeing that happen. I had a problem with when it happened. Like the pacing, again, it's a pacing thing. Like, but that's me with Book Beth being
This is
sorority
this is
sister.
sorority sister stuff.
Talked
This is
about it though that for the last month, the only person that Avienda would talk to was Elaine.
Was Elaine. Exactly. Yes. And I love it. I love that they did that. And I think it's great. I have to question the pacing because we have no inclination right now that Elaine actually has feelings for Rand.
Yep.
Like there's no romanticism going on between the two of them at all. The only hint we got of it was when she said, he's like, who are you? After she had healed him, when she was like, I'm Elaine, like that was, and he was like, she was surrounded with like an aura. That's like the only romantic leaning thing of like, oh, you knocked me off my, oh, who are you? Know, and he's still very much with Egwene right now, right?
Doesn't she touch his sleeve when she's telling him to go make the Aiel believe in you? Doesn't she like reach out and touch him? Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, it's very like they've developed a kinship with each other, but I don't know that it's necessarily romantically based.
No, it's the first episode actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. She said, "Make them your people."
Well, I mean, but that's very much like how Robert Jordan writes relationships. So it's probably
that is
true. Oh, you like me? I like you. Let's go.
This ends with Rand arriving at the Waste. Ruark, Bear, and a couple other people are waiting for him.
I have one beef.
Please.
We went through 2 whole episodes. Well, 1 episode and 10 minutes of an episode with the Aiel.
Mm-hmm.
And the only person 2 people whose names we actually are told, one of them is indirectly. It's when Bear says, Melaine and I are the only dreamers of the Tardad. They never introduce Ruark and Bear. They never make introductions.
Nope.
Ruark is walking around.
Yeah.
Without ever being acknowledged as Ruark. And then we have Melindra. We'll talk about that more later. But like there were never any introductions into who the Aiel are. They're walking around as nameless people. And I would think that would be very confusing for show watchers. Like, who are these people? Like, who are they? Like, Avienda didn't introduce them. Like, this is my clan chief, Ruark.
He's from this sept. He's from this clan. He's from Col. Yeah. All this stuff.
Like, it's just, I don't know. That's my beef with the introduction.
Prediction.
What?
Talk to me.
Lan has to sleep with Melinda.
I don't even want to talk about that. That's episode 3.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Stay on task, Hanson. Oh, my
I
goodness.
love that we have a crossing guard telling us when to cross and when to stop.
Yeah.
What, do you want me to stop? I'll stop. You guys
I love it. No, I love it.
Tangents if you want.
No, I love it. No, you're keeping it high and tight.
Yep.
The prophecies we hear from the Aiel are pretty similar to the ones in the books, right? It says, quote, he will come from the west, be on the spine of the world, of the blood, but not raised by the blood. He will tie us together with bonds we cannot break. He will take us back home, and he will destroy us. Not too far off.
Not too far off. We also, in the books, they come across the traveling people who have been killed.
Yes, and they name drop the Shido, which we hear the Shido, which is cool.
And in the books, we weren't really set clear on who killed these Tuathawan. In fact, I believe didn't Vannon find them? And when he said Matt, he brought him. Didn't one of them write in blood tell the Dragon Reborn?
Vannon, that sack of suet.
Isn't that? Yeah, that's what happened. So, and it was Matt who stumbled across them, not Rain. But they're using this, and they also found in these ones on the show that their killing was supposed to be made to look like people with swords did it. But in fact, it were people with spears. I believe it was the Shido.
So it seems that the Shido are already a culture within the Aiel that hold to a different moral standard.
Yes.
Right.
Without the breaking having to occur. They're just kind of more aggressive. They're
less honorable.
Good way to say it.
Yeah.
Anything else about this episode, guys, that you wanted to comment on? I know we kind of skimmed through it a bit.
Yes. Very quickly. I loved the way that we saw Egwene touch Tel'Aran'rhiod for the first time. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic the way that they did that with you don't belong here. And there was none of the, trying, because if you remember, again, I talked a lot about this yesterday already, but if you remember in the books, Egwene does go with them to Tanchico. She ends up going to the Aiel Waste later. They're talking about need and she needed to find somebody to teach her how to use become a dream walker.
Mhm.
So she came across in the books Amis, but in the show it's Bear, and Bear was wearing cotton sword like she was a maiden of the spear. And then the moment when Egwene sees Bear as a wise one, I love that. And she said to Rand, I saw her in my dream. I loved it. I thought
And
it
Bear
was
says,
really
"No, you
well
were in
done.
my dream."
You were in my dream. Exactly.
But I think that's next episode. But yes, that
right.
or is that this episode?
No, it's this one. And
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of dreams, Lanfear it has a meeting with Rand.
Yes.
And at the same time, she is choking out Egwene.
Ah.
Which again, like metaphysics aside, that's pretty crazy. And that was
also
really well
in the
done.
books, but to a Syndra.
Wait, say it again. You got quiet.
She was doing this in the books to a Syndra at the time.
Okay, but was she showing that she could be in two dreams at once and controlling all that?
I don't know if she was doing that, but yes, because remember, she had Rand inside a pool, naked, swimming with him, and at the same time, remember when they woke up the next day, Syndra had bad dreams, or through Egwene's POV. So yes, she could be in two places at once.
That's awesome. That is awesome. All right, well,
Shadow
everyone,
dogs.
Shadow dog. All right, hey, we're gonna end this episode 2, and we're gonna skip over to the next stream.
Guys, think of this like a bar crawl. Like we're on Main Street and we're like hitting all the Irish a pub crawl. This is the day before St. Patrick's Day, so we're off to the new pub, guys. Everyone, down your drinks, wrap up your tabs, and we're going next door.
To a new pub.
We're going to the new pub.
All right, everyone, run for your lives. This is